Pastor Bob Newcomb, and I was in the camping down in Southern California. I directed a camp down there for 8 years before I came up here.
And I'm Marlys Newcomb, and I love Lutherhaven, and I love the wide open spaces.
I got a call from a lady named Sharon Kick, who was on the board and on the call committee, and they decided they needed to have a director and get some goals established, long-term goals established, and wondered if I'd be interested in doing something like that. And I was the first director that they had in Southern California at El Camino Pines, and then first director up here. I guess there's something about starting a project up that I enjoy, and the challenge, and see what happens. And look what's happened here.
When I first went into the dining hall and looked up, I could see daylight through the roof, and there's no insulation, and one furnace for the whole building, and it was just a big radiator thing on the floor so people could get warm. And for winter retreats, they were having winter retreats then too. So it was cold in there. They had been doing a little bit of year-round when we came, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 retreats in the cold. That had just started because the retreat center rooms were ready, because the rest of the buildings they weren't heated at all. No bathrooms. There was only one bathroom on the east end of the camp and one on the west end of the camp. None anywhere else on the campsite. So that was interesting too.
Everybody had worked hard, but it takes a lot of people, a lot of time and money to keep the camp up. And so there were a lot of projects that we had to try to refurbish some things. And we had an indebtedness that we hadn't been paying on, and so we needed to get some money, some revenue in to take care of the loan that the bank had on us, and that was an interesting experience. The guy called me one time. He said he was so sold. He was from this bank, and you have a loan here. I said, oh. I bet you he thought I was a dunce.
And when we looked around camp and I saw people had donated stuff, there was so much stuff around here, and that's why we decided to have something called Castaway Fair. I always believed in recycling, and that's why, well, we did it for a couple reasons. Getting people out to camp and making a little money, but cleaning out the camp. And we never dreamt that it would go 21 years. We had volunteers come from all over, from the Cascades, Northeast Oregon, all the way to Clarkston, Lewiston, Genesee. It was amazing, and dedicated workers. I just only wish that I'd had a computer back in those days, because it was hard work. Our staff in the 70s decided to have a reunion, and many came together from all over the country. And Rick Hartman, a graphic artist, and Jim, he was also a program director for us here. He made T-shirts, bags with Bob's Bunch on. The whole theme was Bob's Bunch. That bunch is we still have contact with many, many of them. Well, I remember many stories of, particularly on the rivers with canoes, and testing the river, St. Joe's, etc., to make sure that it was safe. Well, it was too early, but we had a lot of laughter afterwards.
We also had a tragic accident with our pike trip down in Walla Walla. Our two staff people, plus our ambassadors down there setting up for the program, were hit head on by a
Drunk driver.
Individual, what?
Drunk driver.
Yeah, who was intoxicated. But so we lost 3 people in that.
And John Cornelius survived, and it was miraculous because we didn't know for 6 weeks if he was going to live. Those kinds of things really cemented that Bob's Bunch, because we really struggled through all that.
And I think another valuable thing is giving people a vision of what can be and what the kind of ministry this could amount to someday.
Bob was always so positive. You know, the board, with being so in debt, he convinced them. I think just after 2 years, we heard that the property right across the road up on the hill was going to be for sale at $1,000 an acre, and there were 25 acres. And the camp had been using it for years for campfires. So the view is incredible, and you can imagine what that would have been like for hotels or whatever up there, or condos. And he convinced the board. They told him if he could raise the funds, and he went right out and went to 4 churches west of Spokane. I know it was Reardon and Davenport and Egypt, and can't remember the other one, but they all had money in the bank, and they loaned it to camp free of interest, but we had them paid back really quickly, because that's what being visionary is all about.
Kids have got so many other things to be involved in, and there's so much going on that they needed this kind of a place set apart.
It's important to be still and listen and not have phones or all the distractions. It's so vital that they just come and be still.
But iPads are essential.
Oh, yeah. No. This place is just so incredible that I feel so blessed that we were able to have the opportunity.
the gospel continues to grow and it becomes a part of our life in many different ways.